5 minutes to change your life. My name's Joanne Mallon. I'm an author and coach. I love helping people to make wee changes that make a massive difference in their lives. Give me 5 minutes of your time today. Just might change your life. Hey, what about you? Welcome to day 6 of 7 days of self-care. This is going in quick, isn't it? So today I wanted to focus on healing, and particularly healing after a loss or grief. This is an incredibly tough part of self-care because when we experience any kind of loss or grief in our lives, which we all do, it changes us. So the healing is not so much about getting back to who we were before. The healing is about coming to terms with who we are now and moving forward with that. And that's the part that can be tough. So I'm going to link in the show notes to another episode I did on this topic, which is called Grief Lessons, because I know a lot of people found that useful. So if you missed it, please do give it a listen. But first, I'd like to welcome my guest, Joanne Mallon. Anne is originally from New Zealand, now based in Washington in the USA, and she is an advanced grief recovery specialist. And what that means, as Anne puts it, is she helps people create peace out of pain. I really like the idea of that, peace out of pain. We're all in pain, one way or another, and I think many of us have a yearning for peace in our lives too. So I linked to Anne's website, which is healyourgriefhealyourlife.com. But first, here's Anne.
Hi Joanne, thanks so much for giving me the chance to chat about grief and loss with your folks today. I just want to start by saying sorry for your loss if that's what actually led you here. Sometimes people really don't know what to say, and sometimes sorry is just enough. So first of all, let's just have a little look at what grief and loss really are. So with grief, we often find that we have conflicting emotions when we have a loss that's significant to us. And that's important to understand. Anytime we lose something or something leaves our life that's significant to us, we're probably going to grieve over it. So what do we consider a loss? How do we know we've had a loss? Well, anytime we change the way we do something with someone, if we have a change in our pattern, behavior, or anything related to a person, place, or thing. And notice I say person, place, or thing. It's not just people that we lose in our lives. There are often intangible things, all of the things we wish could have been different, better, more, all the hopes, dreams, and expectations we had around things in our lives that didn't come to pass. So when we have losses that are significant to us, we will grieve. And unfortunately, what happens most of the time is when we have a loss, we hurt, and people will do things and say things that will try and take that hurt away. But oftentimes they really don't help us at all. They can just make it much worse. So people always say to me, well, what do we do? How do we heal from this pain? How do we deal with it? Well, the most important thing is, first of all, to get from your head to your heart. That's where the real healing takes place. Because we can intellectualize grief until the cows come home, and we often do. Just have a look at all the books that are on Amazon or in any of the bookstores. There are millions, literally, around grief, and people have done a really wonderful job of describing their pain and their grief. But it's when we really stay in our hearts and when we feel grief, that's where the healing takes place. And we need to take action steps around that. I jokingly say to my people that most people would rather have back-to-back root canals than to do grief work. But it's true, because it does hurt us. It does bring up memories. But those are the things that we need to work on to actually take steps around and to start the healing process. So the most important thing I want you to take away today is that you cannot fix somebody's grief, no matter how much you want to take their pain away. It's going to be very uncomfortable for you, for them, it's going to be messy. You're not going to always know what to say or do. You're going to make a mess of things. They're going to make a mess of things. There is no timeline to all of this. There's no particular time that they need to be over this. Now, clearly, if they're struggling and their life is really, really going off the rails, then you can maybe help them find some help. But again, most people will not do anything until they are ready to do it, and you cannot make them, and that's often where we get into trouble, because we try and get people to do things before they're ready. So please remember, the most important thing is you cannot fix somebody's grief, and you cannot make them find their way with it. They have to come to you or to someone else and to seek help.